God said, I'm making room for your blessing. My friend, listen to me carefully today, because what I'm about to speak into your life is not casual encouragement. It is divine clarity given to the part of you that has been stretched, tested, emptied, and prepared without even realizing what heaven was doing behind the scenes. Hear this with your spirit. God said, I'm making room for your blessing. This means the shifting, the shaking, the releasing, the separation, the pruning, the divine disruptions, the unexpected endings, the changes that made no sense. None of them were random. Heaven has been clearing space. God has been rearranging your life, not to punish you, not to deprive you, not to strip you, but to prepare you. Blessing needs space. Favor requires capacity. Elevation requires room. And before God gives you what is next, He clears everything that cannot carry the weight of what is coming. You have been wondering why so much has changed. Why certain people drifted away. Why certain doors closed abruptly. Why the season shifted. Why your spirit outgrew environments you once felt comfortable in. You have been asking God why certain relationships ended. Why opportunities dried up. Why familiar places no longer feel like home. Why desires you once had no longer match your identity. You have been trying to understand why God didn't allow certain things to work out. Why He pulled you out of situations you wanted to stay in. Why He withheld answers. Why He rearranged your path. Why He disrupted your comfort. But now heaven is revealing the truth. He was making room. You cannot receive big blessings in small spaces. You cannot walk into new seasons with old mindsets. You cannot carry divine assignments with limited capacity. You cannot hold what God is sending if your hands are full of what He never intended you to keep. This is why you experience divine separation. This is why you felt internal shifting. This is why you sensed emotional stretching. This is why you walked through spiritual pruning. This is why life forced you to release what you wanted to hold. God wasn't taking from you. He was making space for you. There were blessings assigned to your name, but your life was too crowded for them to enter. There were opportunities scripted for your future, but your environment couldn't support them. There were relationships prepared to elevate you, but you were still connected to people who drained you. There were doors that needed to open, but you were standing in halls you outgrew. There were levels God wanted to take you to, but your identity was still tied to rooms beneath your calling. So God intervened. He stepped into your life and began rearranging what you didn't realize needed rearranging. He began removing things you didn't know were blocking your blessing. He began unsettling you in areas where comfort was becoming dangerous. He began breaking attachments that were no longer aligned with your destiny. He began pulling you away from places where your growth was being stifled. He began shifting your spirit so you could see clearly what your emotions once hid. You may have cried when people left. You may have felt confused when doors closed. You may have felt frustrated when plans collapsed. You may have felt alone when seasons shifted. But heaven was not abandoning you. Heaven was organizing your future. God said, I'm making room for your blessing. And hear me, making room is uncomfortable. Making room feels like loss. Making room feels like disruption. Making room feels like emptiness. Making room feels like instability. Because making room requires letting go. It requires cleaning out what no longer serves your purpose. It requires releasing what cannot stay. It requires separating from what burdens the soul. It requires trusting God more than your attachments. Some blessings are so big that God cannot place them on top of clutter. Some opportunities are so significant that He cannot deliver them into distraction. Some breakthroughs are so weighty that He cannot set them on unstable foundations. He had to clear the space first. Some of the people who left your life had to go because their presence would have contaminated your blessing. Their mindset would have limited your vision. Their habits would have hindered your discipline. Their insecurity would have poisoned your confidence. Their doubt would have sabotaged your courage. Their jealousy would have distorted your peace. Letting them go wasn't rejection, it was protection. Some of the opportunities that closed had to close because they were too small for your future. They would have capped your growth. They would have trapped your potential. They would have consumed your energy without multiplying your purpose. They looked promising, but they were not aligned. Some of the dreams you lost were not failures, they were redirections. You were dreaming at the level of your pain, not at the level of your purpose. You were dreaming from wounds, not wisdom. You were dreaming for survival, not destiny. God had to close those dreams so He could open the ones that match your calling. God said, I'm making room for your blessing. And the blessing He is making room for will require a version of you that is free, focused, emotionally mature, spiritually grounded, and mentally clear. That is why He pulled you out of environments that drained you. That is why He separated you from relationships that confuse you. That is why He interrupted cycles that weakened you. That is why He placed you in a season of isolation. Not to punish you, but to form you. Isolation is not abandonment. Isolation is alignment. It is where God builds identity. It is where He strengthens faith. It is where He refines discernment. It is where He purifies desires. It is where He removes noise so you can hear His voice. This season has been preparation disguised as disruption. You thought you were losing, but you were clearing space. You thought you were falling behind, but God was removing weight. You thought things were breaking down, but heaven was setting things in order. You thought you were starting over, but you were starting fresh. You thought God was silent, but He was rearranging everything around you. He is making room because the blessing coming is bigger than anything you imagine. This blessing will require space in your mind. That's why He has been renewing your thinking. You no longer tolerate what drains your peace. You no longer settle for what insults your spirit. You no longer engage with what lowers your standards. You no longer entertain what sabotages your growth. Your mindset is evolving. You are developing emotional maturity. You are shedding insecurity. You are releasing fear. You are breaking mental patterns that once limited your life. This is God making room. This blessing will require space in your heart. That's why He has been healing it. You have forgiven things you thought you couldn't forgive. You have released people you once felt you needed. You have let go of memories that once wounded you deeply. You are becoming lighter, cleaner, freer. This is God making room. This blessing will require space in your routine. God is restructuring your priorities. You are becoming more disciplined. You are protecting your energy. You are valuing your time. You are identifying what matters and what doesn't. This is God making room. This blessing will require space emotionally. He is teaching you boundaries. He is teaching you self-respect. He is teaching you how to distance yourself from chaos. He is teaching you how to say no without guilt. He is teaching you how to choose peace over approval. This is God making room. This blessing will require space relationally. New people are coming. Aligned people. Supportive people. Faith-filled people. Vision-driven people. Purpose-focused people. People who add to your life, not drain from it. People who understand your calling. People who don't fear your growth. People who celebrate your progress. People whose presence multiplies what God is doing in you. But before they come, God removes the ones who can't walk with you into the next chapter. This is God making room. This blessing will require space spiritually. God is deepening your prayer life. He is sharpening your discernment. He is aligning your heart with His will. He is giving you clarity you never walked in before. He is removing distractions so you can hear Him clearly. He is drawing you closer so you can move confidently. This is God making room. This blessing will require space physically. God is preparing environments for you. Rooms you did not build. Places you did not expect. Opportunities you did not orchestrate. He is moving you geographically, relationally, spiritually, and professionally. He is aligning your steps with divine timing. This is God making room. Everything He removed had to go. Everything He shifted had to change. Everything He ended had to end. Everything He stripped away had to be stripped. Because your future cannot be built on the clutter of your past. The blessing God is making room for is not temporary, it is foundational. It will stabilize your life. It will elevate your identity. It will strengthen your confidence. It will open doors your family dreamed of. It will break generational patterns. It will redefine your path. It will shift your environment. It will confirm your calling. It will multiply your impact. Pray these words from your spirit, God. Thank you for making room for my blessing. Help me release what cannot stay. Help me trust what you remove. Help me welcome what you bring. Help me stay aligned with your will. Prepare my heart, my mind, my spirit, and my life for the blessing you are sending. And as you speak those words, heaven responds. Something is clearing. Something is opening. Something is shifting. Something is being rearranged. Something is making sense. Something is being prepared for you. Something you thought was denied is actually being delivered. Walk into this next season lighter. Walk with expectation. Walk with clarity. Walk with authority. Walk with readiness. Walk as someone whose space has been cleared for blessing. Because God said, I'm making room for your blessing. And the blessing coming is bigger than the pain that cleared the space for it.